So for the buffer input stream and buffer output stream, you can specify the size of the buffer. Now let's look at the case studies. So this code, after we check validations for file existing and command line, we start to read in using buffer input stream and read in input to see if it's the end of files by not equal to -1. If it's not, then we start to take it to the output dot write whatever we read in. Right, r equals to input dot read the contents being right into a new file right here that we create buffer output stream. And we just have the number of bytes copies as the counters to keep tracking on the bytes. So this is going to be writing by bytes. So we read as byte, where we convert to R to byte and write them, casting it to byte. And then we're done. That's how we copy the files. So that's the program how to copy the files here. So that's the case studies for how to use buffer input stream and buffer output stream. Now let's look at the next topic, which is object input stream and object output stream. Alright, so once again, if you want to read and write the files, you can use file input stream and file output stream. If you want to copy, you can do buffer input stream and buffer output stream. If you want to encode and decode in UTF, you can use data input stream, data output stream, right, into UTF format. Right, because file input stream and file output stream is just do the binary, right? Bit and byte, not encode into the UTF format. And if you want to write the whole object input stream or read the whole object output stream, then you're going to use this. So for the data input stream and the output stream, it's pretty much just used to read and write the primitive types, right, of the data, double, int, UTF, things like that, format. But for object input stream and object output stream, this is for non-primitive types. Like for example, if I have a person class, then I want to write a whole person object. You can use data input stream, you can use data output stream because those are for the primitive type. Right, and you want the whole object, you can't just say file input stream and file output stream. Because you want the contents of the whole object, you need an object input stream and object output stream of the particular class or any objects. You can write a whole arrays. So object input stream extends input stream and implements object input and object stream constants. So object output stream also extend output stream and implements object stream constants and object output extend from data output. So you see we have the methods write output and write object and read object from object input stream and object output stream. So this is the method that we need to use when you write and read an object. You may wrap an object input stream, object output stream on any input stream, output stream using the following constructor. So let's look at test object output stream. Alright, so we're going to try object output stream equals to output equals to new object output stream, and this is the file output stream, the name of the file. Okay, output.dat. Now we can say output.write. So we can still do the same like this because string can be a class, can be an object, right? string could be a class, so we're writing the object now instead of primitive type. So double also we have a wrapper class, which is double class, so that's an object. Like we can also write the date, which is an object, write object. Remember this is extends, so that means the point is write UTF, write double, they all come from the data output stream because it extends from data output stream. Right, output stream, data output stream. So if you look at the hierarchy here, right, it's from input stream, output stream. They should have an access to the method, right? And write object. Now we have especially new, which is write object coming from object output stream. So that's why we can also write the whole object, which is the date too. When you run the program, this is successful, write an object. Now, for input stream, after we write, we want to read the contents that we wrote. We can do the same, use read UTF, read double, and we can read the object. Now, when you read an object, it returns an object. You are required to cast back to the date type. If you want to read the date back, let's see when we compile and run, we're able to read the date type back as an object. So, like I said, if you try to write an object like the date itself, you can just do write from data input stream, data output stream, but you have to use the object output stream and object input stream to write and read, and use the read object and write object methods, which is coming from the object output class and object input class. Extend from data input and data output. Alright, interfaces. So now the one important thing about when you use the object input and output streams, read and write, you have to make sure that the object or the class has to be serializable. So by implementing the serializable interface. So not all object can be written to an output stream. Object that can be written to an output object stream is said to be serializable. A serializable object is an instance of the Java IO serializable interface. So the class of a serializable object must implement serializable. And this class doesn't have any method. It's just like marked like clonable to make sure that we want this object to be written to the object output stream or read from the object input stream. Implementing this interface enables the Java serialization mechanism to automate the process of storing the objects in arrays. Transient keyword. If an object is an instance of serializable, but it contains no serializable instance data fields, can the object is serialized? So let me give you an example of serializable a little bit. Like a circle is a class. If you want to write the whole circle to the binary files and read them, you have to implement serializable. That's it. You don't have to write any method in there, just mark it as serializable. And now, we talk about some of the attributes can be transient. So this transient means, if you say the object is an instance of serializable, it contains non-serializable instant data field, can the object be serialized? The answer is no. To enable the object to be serialized, you can use the transient keyword to mark these data fields to tell the JVM to ignore these fields when writing the object to an object stream. Right. because sometimes the data fields can be, some of the contents can be non-serializable. Once one of this is non-serializable, then you can't write the whole object or the whole circle into the binary file. So to prevent that to happen, we can just mark it as transient. Then JVM will ignore those and will not write them to the files. Considering the following class here as an example. So you see that we have a class name foo has 3 attributes: v1, v2, v1 int, v2 static double, v3 is an instance of the class A, and we want this foo to be serializable. But the problem is class A is not serializable, because class A is not implemented serializable. So, but we still want to make this to be writing to the binary files, but we don't want to make class A as serializable. Then we can do just transient keyword in front. When the object of the full class is serialized, only variable v1 is serialized, variable v2 is not serialized because it is a static variable, and variable v3 is not serialized because it is marked transient. If v3 were not marked transient, we will see that when you run this program, we get the exception, not serializable exception. Now, since this is statics, I just try to show you a little bit how to use this, but we don't really need to worry about. We can just remove the transient now because it's non-serializable. It's not serializable. So let's see. We're going to test writing this circle. I'm going to create a new class. So this new class pretty much just going to be object output stream demo, object output stream demo, output and input then. So we said we're going to use object input stream and object output stream. So we're going to say input equals to new object input stream. And this is going to be the file name, right? File input stream. So let's say circle.dat. Now we are required to do the exceptions. So we just do the file not found exception. Now we also need to do another exception, which is IO exception. So we just throw IO exceptions. So file not found exception is for file input stream. IO exception is for object input stream. Since file not found exception extends IO exception, then we can just throw IO exceptions. We also need to do object, right, output stream first, because we have to create a file first, then we can read it in. New object output stream, new file output stream. With it, we want to output to circle.dat, right? Alright, so now we should be able to write an object, which is I want to write, and we should have an access to write object from the data object class from here.